Augustus was thinking about annexing Nubia. At that time, Amani-Renas was Kandake of Kush, in what is today Sudan and Nubia, the new Egypto-Nubian headquarters after the fall of Kemet. To stop the Roman expansion, Amani-Renas decided to strike first. Her husband died during these battles, leaving her and her son to continue the fight, but the attack was successful. Kush captured two major cities, took captives, expanded its borders, and defaced Augustus's statues, symbols of Rome's power in Egypt. It infuriated Augustus, who struck back, invaded Kush, destroyed Napata, and captured many Kushites. Amani-Renas even lost one eye, but it didn't stop her. She counterattacked, using terrifying war tactics like feeding captives to lions and using war elephants. Before long, Rome asked for a permanent peace, and granted Amani-Renas everything she asked for. She successfully stopped Rome. In 1914, archaeologists discover an Augustus statue in a Kushite temple. It was being kept underneath the feet of the Kushite ruler, who was Kandake Amani-Renas. After invading Kemet, Augustus was thinking about annexing Nubia. At that time, Amani-Renas was Kandake of Kush, in what is today Sudan and Nubia, the new Egypto-Nubian headquarters after the fall of Kemet. To stop the Roman expansion, Amani-Renas decided to strike first. Her husband died during these battles, leaving her and her son to continue the fight, but the attack was successful. Kush captured two major cities, took captives, expanded its borders, and defaced Augustus's statues, symbols of Rome's power in Egypt. It infuriated Augustus, who struck back, invaded Kush, destroyed Napata, and captured many Kushites. Amani-Renas even lost one eye, but it didn't stop her. She counterattacked, using terrifying war tactics like feeding captives to lions and using war elephants. Before long, Rome asked for a permanent peace, and granted Amani-Renas everything she asked for. She successfully stopped Rome. In 1914, archaeologists discover an Augustus statue in a Kushite temple. It was being kept underneath the feet of the Kushite ruler.
So yeah, you guys, when we think back in history, you guys, as you can see, the Roman Empire wanted a lot to declare a lot of things for the community, for us to face in life. Because remember, it was about the supremacy of one another, which when Romans felt more supreme, the Europeans felt more supreme than other races and ethnicities. Other the people weren't the same as how the Romans viewed their empire for us to be looking like, because that's why in modern time right now we're too stuck on the illusion based on what they believe for us to be true, but we know that our hardcore truth, the Roman Empire, if we look back in the Roman Empire, and it was all the supremacy that was going on, they were trying to like make the black community as like the slaves to the masters, because that's just how the man's agenda looked like for the woman to go through an experience, because they felt like she was lost or confused as a black woman or something, and the black man was lost on his dignity and confused or something. But no, black men and black women are very loving people, and their love substantiating makes a healing note, because I mean they're healing from their past wounds of their trauma and what they did to our ancestors. Exactly what they did to our ancestors. The Roman Empire wasn't showing our ancestors love. They were trying to destroy the love between each other. They're trying to show the love that they want us to establish in ourselves now, but towards Jesus' name, when we know that it was a Roman's name, because Jesus came from the substantiary note in the Roman Empire of Rome. And basically, no, because I read into it more, no, Jesus' name wasn't as you guys think. It wasn't as you think. He was a disastrous, destructive man, and his dad had to put him onto the reason to talk about, just to say his teachings also could be shared to us knowledgeably knowing in the Bible, so we can read it at all times to know what Jesus did. Jesus did a lot of bad things. Jesus didn't do what we think, because he's from Roman Empire. He's part of the Europeans' Roman Empire of what they want to teach the black community. And then, of course, in the black community, we think Jesus did a lot of good things for us. But in reality, he didn't do nothing good for us. He divided us, because now that's why we look at one another like a divide, where if a black man isn't not always on his feet, severely on his feet, taking care of everything, that makes the black woman look like, oh, well, Oh, that's good. My man got 3 jobs. See, exactly. 3 jobs. I don't need this. My man got 3 jobs. Exactly. Like the man has to be a hardcore worker, and the woman has to just be a very gentle force of light force. As you can see from this scenario too, that the woman wasn't being the light force because the Roman Empire was trying to divide everything in another substantiary note so they can see who came up to top of the top listing of the belief systems for one another. And I'm glad that she fought everything. Yes, I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her. She did a very good thing. Of course, she defended her name and she defended her country, defended her love also. And of course, her man passed. Yes, of course. But at least she still hold it down to defend what she had to defend because that's more than a mark of a woman. That means a manner of a woman that would teach the lessons that she needed to teach. To teach that I'm not going to let you destroy me like this. You're not going to destroy my civilization. You're not going to destroy my love for my husband or my love for my child and everything else because the Roman Empire wanted to do a great divide. Remember, they wanted to feel the supremacy, the feel that they're more of achievable force in life, not the black community. The black community looked weakened. And as you could see, based in ancient times too, you guys, this is basically how it looks for us now in modern times of day too. So yeah, you guys, but I'm gonna let you guys see this again one more time so you guys can actually see exactly what I mean.
Who was Candace Amanirenas? After invading Kemet, Augustus was thinking about annexing Nubia. At that time, Amanirenas was Candace of Kush, in what is today Sudan and Nubia, the new Egypto-Nubian headquarters after the fall of Kemet. To stop the Roman expansion, Amanirenas decided to strike first. Her husband died during these battles, leaving her and her son to continue the fight, but the attack was successful. Kush captured 2 major cities, took captives, expanded its borders, and defaced Augustus's statues, symbols of Rome's power in Egypt. It infuriated Augustus, who struck back, invaded Kush, destroyed Napata, and captured many Kushites. Amani
So as you can see, guys, the story of ancient times for the African American community or just the color tone people in general was always discredited. Why would a loving God want us to look like we're degrading ourselves and the love for one another of the marriage conquest that he sent us to find? That's because all of this happened because slavery, as I tell you. It's like, oh, like the black man has to do all this slave hard work and labor, and then the woman has to go upstairs with the slave master to teach the teachings that she has to teach him. And yeah, no, that's history, you guys. We don't stand for history no more. History is over. This is the new mark of life. Now, where we have the substantial very view of history repeating itself. This is where we rise to the top because history doesn't mean it's going to happen again, and we're going to have the same history all over again. We can't keep doing this to ourselves. We can't keep doing this to ourselves to keep repeating history over and over again until one day something changes and we finally get the right answers and then we start raising above and start fighting back. Because we can't go through this no more. We can't keep going through this scenario. People trying to, like, genocide us out of the viewpoint of us of being a black community and just saying that we're not a supreme race because of our color. Our color doesn't matter on basically supremacy. We're all loving people just as we're here on this earth. Yeah, there's some hatefulness things. Yeah, there's hateful things. There's teachings that need to be taught, lessons too in this world. But as you can see, the teachings are just beginning because we're just learning more and more teachings that we need to discover for ourselves to know. But I want to say thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.